Hello, everybody. Mike Molina here. Well, today's Consumer Price Index report came out, and it wasn't as neutral as we had hoped. It actually showed some inflationary trends, and the market didn't really like that too much. But the damage wasn't so bad, so I'm going to go over it with you right now. Okay, so the report showed that the headline year over year was down slightly at 2.4%, and the core year over year was up slightly at 3.3%. Now, all things considered, this is really good because off of 2022, this is coming off a headline peak of 9.1% and a core peak of 6.6%, but still this was a little bit hotter than expected. And what is the difference between the headline and the core? Well, the headline is basically everything, and the core is everything except for food and energy. So let's take a look at that and why that is important. So if we break it down like this, we can see that the headline, as I said, is 2.4, but the core rose slightly to 3.3%. This is not awful. It was expected to go down slightly or at least stay the same. The biggest component of the core reading is shelter. It makes up 45%. And that's broken down into rents that people pay and owner's equivalent rents. Owner equivalent rents is that you own a home, and if you were to rent it out, what could you get for it? That is 33% of the 45%. And then lodging away from home, which is also exactly what it sounds like, how much it costs you to pay if you are living away, traveling, et cetera, or whatever. So this is one of the biggest components. And the thing is that it's a lagging indicator. The good news is that in the Fed's comments that came out yesterday, they did recognize it as a lagging indicator, something that you haven't really talked about a lot before, which is probably why this report was not as devastating as it could have been. Other things that are a hot item are motor vehicle insurance, which makes up 3.7% of the core. And then there's everything else. Okay. And the everything else part is actually really good. And so when you break it down like that, inflation is doing much better than what it seems to be when you just hear that it rose 3.3%, especially considering that shelter is a lagging indicator. The Federal Reserve recognizes that. And so the impact was not as devastating as it could have been. Additionally, what is helping us out is the weekly jobless claims. So what you can see is that last week, the initial jobless claims were 225,000. It was expected that this week, when I say this week, the report this week, which is for the week of October 5th, okay, that they would be about 230,000. They actually rose all the way to 258,000, which is an increase of 33,000. And then the continuing claims is a similar story. The week of 9/27, there were 1.8 million. It was expected to be 1.83 million, but it actually rose to 1.861 million, which is an increase of 42,000. So both of these jobless claims going up much higher than expected is ironically a good thing, because jobs is one of the things that the Federal Reserve is keeping their eye on. And it's a very interesting dynamic, because on the one hand, you want to have more jobs created because that's a sign of a good economy, but too many jobs created is considered inflationary. So because more people are claiming for unemployment, filing their claims for unemployment and continuing claims, and both of these went up far more than expected, that is considered anti-inflationary, which actually helped keep the markets calm, and rates really didn't go up. In fact, they came down just a smidgen at the end of the day. So I know it sounds crazy. It's this constant push-pull thing where, hey, we created a whole bunch of jobs. Isn't that great? It's great for the economy. But, oh my gosh, we created all these jobs. That's really inflationary. And then look at all these people filing for unemployment. That's good news for inflation. Bad for them. It's crazy. But this is how our economy works. And you just have to work out the balance between the extremes. So if we look at rates, really, since Monday, we've gone up and then we've calmed down a little bit. So it's pretty much the same as it was on Monday. Okay, so the MBS Highway Housing Index is back, and it's actually one big report, but I broke it down into two so I could just talk about it real quick. So this is the national buyer activity, and you can see for October, that went up a little bit from 36 in September. So in October of 2023, the index was only at 24. And now we're at 39. So that is a significant increase, as you can see. So that's good news. And then if we look at the national home price direction from October 2023, we're actually down quite a bit. So prices are moderating, but that is a more, I would say, probably based off of more that people are buying less expensive houses based off of the meeting. I don't know that for sure. That's my opinion and assessment of it, because we just had the Case-Shiller home price index, which is considered the gold standard, showing that homes increase in value 5% year over year. So that's a little bit contradictory information. So I think that this is more has to do with the median price of what people are actually buying, as opposed to how prices are going. And then here, this is a breakdown of the same data by region. So depending on where you are, you can take a look at the chart and see. So for the Southwest here, looks like from month over month, from September last month to this month, it's about the same year over year, way better for buyer activity. And for house prices, slightly down versus the national house price index. So last year, 37, this year, 35, last month, 39, this month down to 35. And if we look at the West, we can see that buyer activity is up, way up, actually. Wow. Okay. And the price direction is about the same story, moderately down, but compared to the national average, not down as much. So that's it for me for today. Remember, the house price index, the rates, it's all available either in the description if you're looking at YouTube, or in the links in the email that I sent you where you got this video in the first place, all available for you to download, as well as all the other slides that I use. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me anytime. I'm always happy to talk. And also, please, big favor, if you could, please like the video, share the video, and if you have an account with YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. It would help so much. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk with you soon. Take care.